Shalom, shalom, everybody. This is Ahavia, and I'm here to start the first video in my series of how to go vegan. Now, whenever I refer to going vegan, I'm referring to a whole foods, plant-based diet. Now, I am also gluten-free and peanut-free, so you'll notice that theme in my videos. That does not mean that I think gluten is the devil. As far as I'm concerned, if you're not allergic to gluten, more power to you. If you're not allergic to peanuts, more power to you. But I am, so whenever you see my videos, just know that you'll see things like almond butter instead of peanut butter, and I'll do things like gluten-free oats instead of regular oats. And yes, gluten-free things at times can be more expensive. So if you go in the store, you're like, oh yeah, I wanted to try that gluten-free recipe, and then you saw how expensive those gluten-free oats are, and you're like, you know what, never mind, I'm just gonna get the regular oats. That's okay. They do the same thing. The difference is that one has gluten and one doesn't. Neither of them are genetically modified, so you should be fine. So the first thing I wanted to teach you guys about going vegan is that you need to educate yourself. You need to read books such as How Not to Die by Dr. Greger. You need to watch documentaries such as Forks Over Knives. And you need to look up general information about nutrition, because you want to have a happy experience whenever you go vegan. You don't want to go vegan like a lot of people do and then turn around and you're like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I'm gonna die. I don't feel well. My head hurts. Oh, my stomach is killing me. Oh my God, will I stop having diarrhea? Yeah, that actually does happen if you don't educate yourself because you're not eating properly. That happens when people eat the standard American diet. The difference is that people don't associate it with their diet and they just go and they take Imodium, Pepto-Bismol, and Tylenol and move on with their lives like nothing happened. And then they'll turn around and give themselves coffee because they're dying and their body needs energy. Okay, so now that you know that you need to educate yourself, let's start out by learning meal planning. That's what this whole video is about. We are going to learn how to plan healthy, nutritious, plant-based vegan meals. Okay, so the first thing you need to know is that when planning your meals, you want to think about all the different nutrients that you need for the day. So that means protein, fiber, vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, everything. And that doesn't just go for a vegan diet. That also goes for any diet. A lot of people tend to just eat and then they wind up with nutritional deficiencies and they don't understand how it happened. It's because you weren't planning on getting all the nutrients you need. So my advice, stop counting calories, start counting nutrients. Okay. The next thing you need to learn about meal planning is that you need 1 serving of fresh fruit and 1 serving of green leafy vegetables every single day. That's something you really want to think about and incorporate into your diet. And I know a lot of people think, oh, well, fresh fruit is expensive. It depends on where you get it. Like, I buy organic apples from Walmart and they're cheaper than the regular apples at Walmart. That was very surprising. But in addition to that, they're not very expensive if you get the Gala apples. If you go after those pink ladies, I don't know why, but the pink lady is expensive. So I highly recommend the Gala apples or get Red Delicious apples. A lot of people like Red Delicious. I'm not one of those people, but there's nothing wrong with Red Delicious apples. In addition to that, with the salad, like I said, Walmart has really come up in the last couple of years with their organic produce. I was very surprised and delighted because it really did keep my grocery bill lower whenever I could go to Walmart and buy a container of organic spinach for $2 instead of having to spend $3 on the exact same container at a different grocery store. Another thing you want to think about is that all of your grains need to be whole grains. That means that you want to have whole wheat if you're eating wheat. You want to have whole grain brown rice. You want to have, or you can try black rice or red rice. Both of those are really good, healthy, and nutritious. Or you want to have the rolled oats. These are just things that you want to keep in mind whenever you're getting your grains. And the reason for that is that's where the protein and the nutrients are. There's lots of protein and B vitamins in whole grains. There's no protein, no B vitamins in white rice. There's a reason why it's fortified. And it's because after they take everything off of it, there's nothing left. It's just sugar. In addition to that, if you have issues with your blood sugar, say you're diabetic or you just have trouble maintaining your blood sugar, such as having hypoglycemia, eating whole grains will help with that a great deal versus eating white rice. White rice will shoot your sugar up. And then if you're diabetic, you know that that's not a good thing. So eating brown rice instead of white rice will really help you. The next thing you want to think about is whenever you make your salads. A lot of people, when they think about salads, they think about the typical garden salad or the typical side salad that you see at restaurants. That is not a vegan salad. A vegan salad is a delicious bed of sweet green leafy vegetables with an abundant assortment of colorful, beautiful, sweet, delicious raw vegetables on top of that. And then you will have your protein and you will have your whole grain. So what you want to have, like I typically add beans and rice to my salads, or you can add tempeh and rice, or you could add cashews and quinoa. It's entirely up to you. There are so many different ways to make salads. It's like, you know how there's 1,000 ways to make chicken? Well, there's 1,000 ways to make salad. Whenever you make your salad, you want to make sure that it is very colorful. Actually, with all of your meals, you want to make sure that they are colorful because that's where you're going to get all of your nutrients. Make sure that at the end of the day, you have gotten adequate protein, fiber, fat, starch, and minerals and phytonutrients because that is what's going to keep you healthy, and that's also how you receive all the benefits of being on a vegan diet. Okay, so here's my suggested meal plan for going on a vegan diet. So for breakfast, my recommendation is that you have overnight oats and a piece of fruit. Now, I'm not saying you need to do this every single day and this is the only breakfast you can ever have. There are a multitude of different types of vegan breakfasts that you can have. This is just something that I'm saying so that you can get in your mind how to have all of the nutrients you need in one day. So we're starting with overnight oats and a piece of fruit. And then after that, you want to have a snack. I highly recommend a piece of fresh fruit or a granola bar or a fruit cup, something like that to kind of like tide you over until you reach lunch. Then for lunch, I highly recommend a big, delicious salad as a meal. And I mean big, not gone are these little tiny salads that you're used to having on the side whenever you have your abundant portion of meat and rice and you had a little salad over here. No. Now, that big old portion that you were having on that plate is now your salad. And with that, I would say taco salad. I love vegan taco salad, or you can have an Asian salad or a Mediterranean salad. There are lots of different types of salads that you can make. You just have to make sure that you have your leafy greens, your delicious veggies, your protein, and your whole grain, because that's where you're going to get your energy from, having that starch, and it's going to keep everything going and allow you to have sustained energy throughout the day. The next thing you're going to need is another snack. And with that, I would recommend a handful of nuts or some trail mix. Typically in the afternoon, you want to have a snack that's savory and not sweet. Or you want to have a snack that has, you know, good fiber and good fat to go along with it to kind of sustain you until dinner, because you really don't want to go to cook dinner and while you're starving, because then you're either not going to cook it properly or you're going to say, forget it, I'm going to McDonald's. And we're trying to stay away from McDonald's here. No judgment. Okay. So then for dinner, I would recommend lentil stew and oven roasted potatoes. It does not take long to prepare that. Lentil stew, after you put it on the stove, takes about 20 to 30 minutes to cook. The oven roasted potatoes, if you preheat your oven, will take you about 15 to 20 minutes. You just got to make sure you season everything well. It's a delicious dinner. It's really filling, and it has lots of nutrients such as iron and zinc and B vitamins, potassium. So these are things that you want to keep in mind. And then if you have a sweet tooth, Of course, you're going to want dessert. You can have dessert after dinner or you can have dessert before dinner. And if you choose to have, a lot of people, they want to have the dessert earlier in the day because they're trying to lose weight, and there's nothing wrong with that. On the side with your salad, you can have your dessert, or you can even try having your dessert as your snack between breakfast and lunch, if that's what you want to do. But my recommendation is that you eat a healthy dessert, something that's sweet and delicious, but at the same time doesn't have a ton of refined sugar. So for dessert, my recommendation would be chocolate covered strawberries. You just cut them in half and you melt some chocolate, you dip them in the chocolate, put them in the fridge while your other food is cooking. By the time you sit down to have your meal, your chocolate covered strawberries are ready and you can just sit down and enjoy those right after your dinner. So that's it for a one-day meal plan. That's just to kind of give you an idea. Now that meal plan has adequate calories, it has adequate fiber, adequate protein, vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, everything you need for today. And if you eat like that every day, you'll notice that you're feeling pretty good. And the last thing I want to talk to you guys about in meal planning is that whenever you're going places, you need to plan ahead to eat out. So, and it's the same thing whenever you're going to other people's houses. That's still eating out. Like, you need to plan ahead. So if you know you're going to a family member's house and they don't know anything about vegan food, bring your own food. There are going to be times where you're going to have to bring your own food. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, like initially, whenever you tell people that you're not eating what they're eating, they might feel a little bit insulted or they might be a little bit offended. But then when they realize that, oh, this is this thing that she's doing from now on and it's not going to change, I understand that. Okay, she just eats her own food and we can all just sit down and enjoy our food together. Another thing though is also going out to restaurants. Whenever you go out to restaurants, you're gonna have to talk to people ahead of time. Sometimes you're gonna have to call, sometimes you're gonna have to Google to find out whether or not they have vegan meal options, or if there are different ways that you can alter the meal that they already have so that it can be vegan. Such as if you go and they have rice pilaf with a side of chicken, or well, I guess I'm used to thinking of meat as sides now. But okay, so let's try something else. Such as if you go to a Mexican restaurant and they have chicken fajitas. Well, instead of getting the chicken fajitas, you can get the veggie fajitas with a side of beans. And then you can have that with your tortillas. Or if you're gluten-free like me, you can have that with your tortilla chips, or the corn tortilla chips that they serve at the table. And those are gluten-free, and you can have that with the abundance of salsa and everything. And, add some guacamole in there to get some good healthy fat to keep you full, give you energy. So those are just different things that you're going to have to keep in mind while being vegan. So I hope this video helps, and I hope that you get to enjoy your journey. The next video I'm going to do on how to go vegan is going to be about protein. So I know everybody's pretty excited about that. I know I am. So I'll see you next time. Ahava and shalom. Here's that meal plan once again for everyone. And as always, I'm Hebrew, I'm vegan, I am the kosher vegan.